The Fear and Greed Index measures market sentiment extremes. Most people easily recognize the fiery red fear as a negative emotion and greed as a positive emotion because green candles increase your wealth, which makes you feel safe, and red candles take it away, which makes you feel scared. What everyone seems to miss, though, is that fear and greed are actually coming from the same emotional state, not opposites. It's true that fear is easily seen as negativity because losses hurt, and greed is easily confused with happiness because it increases wealth. But when you think in terms of urgency, it's easy to see greed as a shade of fear because FOMO literally means the fear of missing out. So despite their common portrayal as opposites, both market extremes are actually recognized by your nervous system as fear-driven threats. Because both extremes are fear-driven, the market inadvertently becomes a source of emotional regulation, which is dangerous because market cycles create an addiction that causes you to ride a perpetual cycle of dopamine and cortisol, keeping you in a constant state of fear. In order to escape, you must detach your emotions from the market. Still, the moment you invest, you begin to wire your ego and survival instincts into your trading habits, subconsciously ingraining ideas like power, freedom, and status into your position. Relative to the risks we take, we give the market power to become an existential threat to ourselves. Over time, that threat creates a sense of urgency, tension, and vigilance. Price movements trigger physical sensations in the body, reflecting the main nervous system states: fight, flight, freeze, fawn, or calm, connect. Most people have heard of these states, but discussing them in relation to markets is foreign, and feelings are generally stigmatized in investing. Paradoxically, your emotions can be the most personal and reliable indicators over time if you stop using the market to regulate your emotions and rewire yourself for profit rather than survival. It sounds paradoxical, but survival and profits are two different things. In everyday life, the fact that we're wired to get rid of things when they're bad and hold on to things when they're good is how we've managed to survive over millennia. But these exact instincts are what lead to bad decisions in the market. If you hold on to something profitable indefinitely, you will never realize gains and potentially lose money. But if you don't take more risks when things look really awful, you never make money in the first place. The only place in the market that feels safe is the middle, which is rarely an optimal place to buy. Making money in the market requires rewiring your survival instincts to take risks when you feel danger and to de-risk when you feel confidence and safety. To overcome these instinctual biases, we can use our body's memory of past market extremes, which reveal an untapped connection that traders often ignore: the nervous system. Our brains make decisions based on how we physically feel in our bodies, and over time, those feelings store a memory of the past. Because we often make decisions that make us feel better, we tend to choose a familiar hell over an unfamiliar paradise. The key to overcoming this is to rewire yourself by using the memory of how you physically felt during market extremes, so that when those extremes arrive again, your body feels the feelings of the past that your brain can use in the present to make profitable decisions. By observing how your body has reacted in the past, you can start to notice these patterns as they happen in real time. Most people know fight-flight is accompanied with a sense of urgency. It's also responsible for anxiety, rage, worry, and irritation, which can show up as vigilance. It's the body saying, do more so we stay in control. In nature, it keeps us fed. In market terms, it looks like overanalysis, overtrading, oversizing, or sudden increased attention to technical analysis. After prolonged periods of pain or sideways price action, it can also lead to selling when the first green candle shows up. This is because everyone is looking to give themselves a feeling of relief and are willing to sell early in order to get it. Or, when a final low is reached, people capitulate to stop feeling pain. Have you noticed these feelings of urgency before? And what typically happens in the market next? Fight-flight tends to happen near the highs or the middle, but true extremes can send our minds into freeze mode. Often during true tops and bottoms, people will simply stare at the screen in awe. This state has low energy, feelings of collapse, and very obvious hesitation. It can look sad or euphoric. The body says, do less so we don't get hurt. In nature, that response is akin to safely avoiding a life-threatening situation. In markets, it translates to missing the best opportunities. Have you ever stared at high prices, unable to act, while simply saying, wow? That's freeze. Similarly, when bottoms come in, you either checked out months ago, or you feel physically sick and have no idea what to buy, and don't know why you'd take the risk anyway. That's also freeze. Do you remember any of those feelings? And what happened next? Understanding how your nervous system reacts in key moments like these is critical to making profits, because mastering the market doesn't just depend on logic, but on knowing yourself. Technical knowledge can help you find where a decent entry might be, but the real trader is your nervous system. Your true ability to profit comes from staying calm throughout whatever logic you plan and decide on. Otherwise, none of the logic matters. Knowing the difference between internal calm and market calm is also important. In nature, internal calm helps us make good decisions, but when most people are calm in the markets is usually when the worst decisions are made. To be a good investor, you need to stay grounded despite news developments or sudden price movements and accept loss before entering the market. Being emotionally detached from your money will give you a safer feeling at the lows because you're content with losing what you've put in, and your sense of calm will allow you to see clearly that buying low simply means there is less risk. Expecting average returns also gives you a sense of having enough at the highs, whereas most market participants become confident, feel safe, and get greedy at the highs. Remembering how you feel lets you match the market structure to your body's sensations to determine the best move. The things that make somebody popular in life are often pitfalls in successful trading. The best traders often appear boring because boring is safe. This isn't to say they don't experience emotion, but they understand how to return to feeling calm without identity collapse. They do this by understanding, internalizing, and accepting the risk before they enter the market, and do not use it as a way to regulate their feelings of well-being. Rewiring your survival instincts for profit can train you to be successful in the market, but it takes patience, discipline, and emotional intelligence to succeed. Most trading education focuses on logic and technical strategies or trading programs that promise carnal knowledge for a fee. Yet nobody seems to talk about how understanding your emotions can help you make profitable decisions. Other people's trading strategies might not even work for you because everybody's nervous system responds to threats differently, which is reflected in their trading strategy. There are many layers, but thinking about feeling explains overtrading, undertrading, revenge trading, burnout, and inconsistency. The body feels sudden loss, unpredictability, and lack of control, so even a sound trade can feel dangerous if you're on high alert. That's why it's best to create your own system of winning, just like you do in your everyday life. The key to knowing what body state you're in involves paying attention to how you feel and the actions you're taking in the market when you feel a certain way. Not playing a valid setup, staring at the screen in awe, or overanalysis might be paired with lower heart rate, lower depth of breath, or lower blood pressure, indicating a freeze state. Checking prices for emotional relief, overtrading, oversizing, or impulsive buys might be paired with increased blood pressure and heart rate, indicating fight-flight. Where most people get flip-flopped is the calm state. It's why people buy tops, because they finally have all the reassurance they need to feel safe, and their actual survival mechanisms are giving the green light, so the body feels good. But since markets are not about survival, the trick is to rewire your brain so that frozen feeling becomes data instead of fear. Whether high or low, when prices feel extreme and hesitation sets in, that pause is often the perfect moment to act. So if you freeze at highs, sell. If you freeze at lows, buy. Calmness usually brings a sense of connection to your environment, but in successful trading, it can feel disconnected because most people are making the wrong decisions. A calm state as a trader looks like letting the trades come to you instead of forcing them. It means being decisive at key levels, not being critical of yourself, and not being emotionally attached to the outcome. In other words, ego's never made a trader rich. A simple ice pack on your chest or taking a walk can actually take you out of either state of fear. It may take repetition over time to reduce chronic stress, but it can regulate your mind and body, which help you to channel your energy into coherent trading decisions. Our calm connect state leads to more openness and mindfulness, so in the context of the market, it will help you to slow down and understand the core reason why you're trying to make a move, no matter what the state of the market. From a calm mind, you will likely be able to say, I feel like the market is about to break out and I'm going to miss it, which in this case tells you you're about to make a decision that comes from fear. Once you can reliably shift your state, the next step is to embed this awareness into your actual trading plan. True mastery of your nervous system can't be packaged or sold like a paid course. It takes patience, experience, and a real embodiment, which is exactly what makes it valuable. Mastery of yourself isn't about eliminating feelings in order to trade, but about building enough safety in your system so that fear no longer drives your decisions. That type of change can't happen overnight, but paying attention to your emotions is like a muscle that can be strengthened in time. With self-mastery, it becomes easier to detect when market makers in the media are testing your system. Their main goal is to generate massive profits, and with that power, they can use the media to influence the emotions driving the market. By design, they try to shake out the weakest hands before sending the prices higher, which requires psychologically wearing out the weak and scaring them into selling. When prices go higher, they reassure the weak hands that it's safe to buy again, and the process repeats indefinitely. Profits are a perfect motive for pushing endless news narratives that play on your nervous system to keep you fearful, whether prices are good or bad. Because the market incites fear on a primal level, being a participant will fundamentally change you as a person. The market is one of the strongest forces you can face that will teach you to confront your own emotions, instincts, and decisions. It's the mirror to the self. To overcome the cycle of fear, you have to stop buying and selling to regulate your emotions. The winner isn't the one with the biggest ego, it's the one who consistently makes money. Pay attention to how your body feels during each market stage, and over time, you can rewire yourself for profits. Have patience in mastering yourself, because giving in to either type of fear is the reason most people lose.